evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network this Tuesday night. The Children's Dream Racer Cup Series back in action here at Richmond. Drivers finishing out their practice times before they're set to go qualifying. We're going to go to the playing of the national anthem when we come back. It's going to be some great race action coming your way. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network this Tuesday night. The Children's Dream Racer Cup Series back in action as the gentlemen working their way around the track, trying to find the best line here tonight. Talking a little bit about the track information and where we're at here tonight. It's on your screen. Richmond International Raceway, the 7/10 of a mile track. Close to 3/4 of a mile track. It's going to be a tough one for these guys to race with these narrow corners. Weather information down there on the screen, 73 degrees in the air with 72% humidity, partly cloudy and a matching track temperature. It's going to make it a difficult night for these guys to pass. Coming into tonight, talking about the point standings. After last week, Dylan Landry pulling off a late race victory over Glenn Murphy Jr. due to a late pit issue with the 48 team. Dylan Landry still atop of the series points. Right behind him, though, not too far off, about 11 points off, is Ryan Cobb, Craig Embry in third, Randy Arms fourth, and also tied with Randy Arms in fourth is Glenn Murphy Jr. Jason Ashby back there in sixth, Philip Neese seventh, Stuart Joyce eighth, ninth position Hoyt Smith, and rounding out your top 10, Chris Ostrander moving up 10 positions. Drivers look like they are done with practice. Qualifications are complete. They are going to work their way out to the grid. While they do that, let's take a look and see where your drivers are at here tonight. Looks like the 86 of Dylan Landry is going to be starting on the pole here tonight. A lot of momentum coming into tonight's race with the 92 of Hoyt Smith to the outside. Back in the inside of that second row in third position, the number 12 of Kevin Trzynski. The 67 of Cameron Hearn. Fifth position going to Chris Ostrander. 66 of John Joyce. Actually, I'm calling the grid here tonight because I'm, for some reason, thinking that we're at the grid. Little timing schedule shuffled up here, folks. Do apologize on that. So the drivers are going to go actually qualifying now. We're following the 85 of Shaquille Ray in the Miller Lite Ford Fusion. And it looks like qualifications have come to a close, so now we can actually take a look at your grid and see where your drivers are at here tonight. So it is going to be the 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr. starting on the pole with the 87 of Craig Embry to the outside. In the second row, the number 8 of Randy Arms will start third, as the number 9 of Tim Sandelin will be to the outside in fourth. Rounding out your top 5 here tonight, the number 5 of Ryan Cobb will have Chris Ostrander to the outside. Looking back inside of that fourth row, the number 19 of Justin Page will be to the inside of Kevin Trzynski, the number 12 car. Back in ninth, the number 38 of Philip Neese, who came in second last week, will have the number 32 of Mike Springer to his outside, rounding out that fifth row and your top 10. Looking on back, Conheady Pop, Landry, Ray, Elliott, Miller, Joyce, that's John Joyce, Cameron Hearn, Michael Tant, Stuart Joyce, rounding out your top 20. Hoyt Smith, Jonathan Schwartz, Clay Dildine, John Ollis, Jason Ashby, Joshua Clark, David McMahon, and Danny Bowman Jr. is going to round out your field here tonight. Total of 28 cars on that grid, folks. As we get you down to the action. Tuned in last week at Darlington, it was the throwback paint scheme night. A lot of the guys bringing some of their paint schemes through there. As you see the number 20 back there, Tyler Pop, running that classic Tony Stewart Home Depot paint scheme, carrying it on into this week. Glenn Murphy Jr. running a classic Darrell Waltrip Gatorade paint scheme, but this week he'll put back on his Lowe's paint scheme on that Chevrolet. And it looks like the pace car is ready to take these guys around the track for a couple laps of pacing. Again, tonight, folks, close to a 3/4 mile sized track. Very narrow corners. These guys are going to be on the brakes a lot here tonight. Turn 2 is going to be one to watch out for, as well as turn 4. And it looks like somebody can't get their car started, possibly, not quite sure who that was. Maybe Greg Elliott. Looks like he's able to get it working now. Down the backstretch towards turn number 3. It's going to be Cameron Hearn to the outside of Glenn Murphy Jr. Here we go. Cars begin to bunch up into the third and fourth turn. Pace car set to go into the pits. There it goes. Flagman with the signal, ready to go.
Green, green, green.
There's the green flag, and we are off to the race here at Richmond. There you see Greg Elliott at full speed due to missing the initial start. Now finds himself right ahead of Murphy Jr. Trying to fight to stay on the lead lap already here in the first lap. Across that start-finish line into the first turn they go. Cameron Hearn. Excuse me, Craig Embry. I'm calling him Cameron Hearn. I apologize. It's Craig Embry, the 87 car. The number 8 of Randy Arms back there in third. And Ryan Cobb in the top 5. Not quite sure what's going on with Greg Elliott as to why he decided to lap the field. It was a pace lap, which would not have put him a lap down. And currently, he is sitting in third position.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution
so the
is out.
caution flag's going to come out here, folks. do have an issue going on with Kevin Trzynski and the 58 car. We're going to go back and take a look at that. But crucial caution as well is they may have to work on seeing what's going on with Greg Elliott. Looks like Kevin Trzynski is going to have a self-inflicted wound here. The 58 of Jonathan Schwartz is going to go right up into the side, as well as the 14 car. That is John Ollis is going to make some contact, and wow, a lot of damage heavily on the 12 Fago car for Kevin Trzynski early on in this race. So that's going to send everybody down pit road early on for a pit stop, but it looks like Craig Embry and Glenn Murphy Jr. are going to stay out. So still kind of confused here what's going on with the 13 of Greg Elliott. Elliott didn't start when everybody moved off the grid, but yet decided to lap the field. So he's going to come down pit road. So this may shuffle the lineup just a little bit here as they come across the start and finish line into the 6th lap of tonight's race. Here's what your top 5 looks like so far. The 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr., the 87 of Craig Embry, the number 8 of Randy Arms, the 51 of Brian Cobb, and the number 9 of Tim Sandelin. Looks like Greg Elliott is going to get shuffled back in the lineup. So from 3rd to 24th, after an early on mix-up, he's actually going to go to the back of the field. And the light should be off the pace car this time by into lap number 8. We should be back green on lap number 9. It's going to be Glenn Murphy Jr. with Craig Embry to the outside. Murphy Jr. is going to set the pace. Last week at Darlington, the 48 car led the most laps, over just actually breaking even with 100 laps led. And on lap 108, it was a fuel mileage pit stop, trying to set up for a potential win out of the 125 lap event. Fortunately, Murphy Jr. came up just shy, finishing 3rd. Dylan Landry, the 86 car, back there running the Under Armour paint scheme here tonight. The one that came away with that late race victory. Down the backstretch towards turn number 3, the pace car is set to go into the pits this time by as they head into the 4th turn now. There goes the pace car coming out of the 4th into the front stretch. There goes Glenn Murphy Jr.
Green flag,
The green flag flies. We're back to the race on lap number 9. Out to a nice sizable lead, out to about 4/10 of a second over the 87 of Craig Embry. Embry trying to work his way back up. Randy Arms about equal pace off the 87 car. Here comes the 51 of Ryan Cobb. Just under 2 car lengths behind the 8 of Randy Arms, and they begin to move into a single file line. Jim Sandlin back there. And the 86 of Dylan Landry, the 19 of Justin Page. To the inside of Sandlin, here comes the 38 of Philip Neese. And wow, Sandlin's going to fall back to 7th in a hurry. And he's pushing it. Philip Neese was trying to push it underneath Dylan Landry. So the 46 of Danny Bowman Jr. wanting to go fast in that Ricky Bobby Tribute paint scheme car. It's going to get a little bit of damage here. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. Somebody stopped completely in the track. So this is going to be a residual issue out of the caution flag. The caution flag is going to come, and right there, wow. So the 22 of Stuart Joyce is just going to drive right through Danny Bowman Jr. Not quite sure what that issue was all about. Bowman Jr. heading off of pit road. Right behind him, John Alez. Alez last year running Mountain Dew Livewire. Decided to get a candy-coated paint scheme as he's running the Reese's here tonight. Peanut butter cups on the 14 car. How could you not get hungry when you pass by that car? "14 laps to be completed the next time by," as Glenn Murphy Jr. now has Randy Arms behind him. Embry getting down pit road is going to be back in 14th position. Here's a look at what your top 5 is currently. Murphy Jr. still out to the race lead. Take a look, total of 14 laps led here tonight, still the car to beat. The number 8 of Randy Arms, the number 19 of Justin Page, 86 of Dylan Landry, and the 38 of Philip Neese. Keep an eye on that 38, folks. He was looking to dive bomb the 86. That means he's trying to get underneath them in these turns. Difficult passing conditions here tonight in Richmond. We'll have to see how that's going to play out. Race summary on your screen. No lead changes. 2 total cautions here in the first 14 laps of this race. Pace car bringing him into the front stretch. We should see the lights come off this time by. And Randy Arms will be to the outside of Glenn Murphy Jr. Justin Page, that Toyota Camry, will have the 86 of Dylan Landry. So in your front 4, it's 3 Chevrolets and 1 Toyota. Pace car into turn number 3. Here we go. Lap 17 is where the green flag will fly as the pace car works its way to the pits. Murphy Jr. gets his run. There he goes. Out of turn number 4 into the front stretch. The green flag's in the air. And it's nearly a 3-wide bout behind him. Side-by-side action between Page and Landry heading into turn number 1. And it looks like Landry's trying to work that high groove early on in this race, but it looks like the lower groove is getting the momentum out of the corners as the 19 of Justin Page edging out Dylan Landry at this point. Cameron Hearn now makes his way up towards the top 5 as he's coming across that start-finish line right behind the 86 of Dylan Landry. Nice little side-by-side battle between Shaquille Ray and Philip Neese. 2 Ford Fusions working together there into the backstretch. Cameron Hearn, a little bit of contact there to Dylan Landry.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
And a big pile up here. Starting back around the 66 of John Joyce. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. John Joyce trying to get to the inside. And it looks like so. There's what's going to happen, folks. Brian Cobb is going to have an issue here with the 23 car. David McMahon. So we'll throw back a replay here on McMahon and see what caused him to come up the track right in front of John Joyce. Cobb looks like he's going to try the inside right about there. As Cobb tries to move the inside, he's going to climb the contour of the track in the midpoint of the turn. It's going to get both him and McMahon sideways. Trzynski is going to go up to the high side. Cobb's going to make contact with the wall, and that's what's going to send McMahon right up into John Joyce. So it's a tough night here in Richmond. 3 cautions in the first 20 laps. These drivers trying to figure this track out. We'll see if they got it, folks. We'll take a short commercial break. We'll be back right after this.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Richmond back under the green here on lap number 25. Glenn Murphy Jr. still out to the race lead. As he works his way out of the fourth turn into lap 26. Nice little side-by-side battle between Shaquille Ray, Randy Arms, Cameron Hearn to the inside as they come out of turn number 2 into the backstretch. Cameron Hearn to the inside of Randy Arms. Arms is going to go from 4th to almost 6th position, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Looks like the 87 of Craig Embry now trying to work his way back up into the top 5 after starting 2nd on the grid, now to the inside of Randy Arms. Battle through the turn into the backstretch. Just ahead, Cameron Hearn trying to seek out the 85 of Shaquille Ray as they work their way into turn number 1 here on lap 28. '46 car of Danny Bowman Jr. coming off of Bent Road out onto the track. And now Hearn to the inside of Shaquille Ray. Cameron Hearn moves into 3rd position. Still the man to beat here tonight, Glenn Murphy Jr. Nice sizable lead for this Great Plains driver. Fast lap time here tonight, 21.180, total of 28 laps led.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
And it looks like there's issues there with Mike Springer. Go back and take a look at the replay. To the inside of Springer as they come down the backstretch. Right about there is where they're going to make contact. So Springer not exactly clear of Bowman Jr. Pretty much a self-inflicted incident there for the 32 and all that sparks and damage coming off the 32 car. Bowman Jr. not too happy. There's a little net coat bump for you folks. So the caution flag in the air yet again here tonight as we take a look at the race summary. 4 total cautions in 30 laps, 1 lead change so far as Glenn Murphy Jr. goes down pit road. Welcome back to Richmond this Tuesday night. Back under the yellow yet again. Here in the first 40 laps of this race. Total of 5 cautions. Last week, Dylan Landry, during his victory speech, came up and said that a lot of drivers need to practice before showing up at the racetrack. And so far here tonight, seems to be the theme here in Richmond. Just a tough track to drive. Short track with these narrow turns. Everybody's trying to get underneath everyone. Chris Ostrander up to the race lead now, coming across the start-finish line. The lights should come off the pace car. The car should begin to bunch up next time by. Greg Elliott up into second position. Justin Page third. Here's your top 5, folks. Clay Dildine and Dylan Landry rounding out your top 5. Lights come off the pace car. We'll be back green on lap 42. Elliott trying to get down on the apron to cool off the tires just a bit. Chris Ostrander to the number 73 Budweiser Chevrolet to set that pace when we go back green. Pace car set to go into the pits. There it goes. Ostrander with the pace out of turn number 4. And the green flag flies. We're back to the race on lap 42. Ostrander into turn number 1, the 13 of Elliott. And it looks like Dylan Landry trying to get up to Justin Page to be able to make an inside pass. Craig Gimbry back there rounding out your top 5 now as the 87 car on the move towards Dylan Landry. Philip Neese still working that outside groove, the 38, and Shaquille Ray is going to go for a spin. He is going to hold up traffic, and a caution flag is going to fly. As we take a look back. Looks like possibly a tire went down. Tire may have gone flat there for the 85 of Shaquille Ray as he was heading into turn number 1. And the car just seemed to swing on him. Randy Arms not providing a helping hand there. Actually continuing to spin the 85 as he'll be side by side with Ryan Cobb. And everybody have to get on the brakes as the 85 comes right up into the middle of the track, right into traffic. Everybody everybody comes down pit road. And the lights come off the pace car here on lap 49. Ostrander will have Elliott to the outside as he sets the pace heading into lap 50. Pace car set to go into the pits, and there it goes, and there goes the 73 of Ostrander. And Elliott's going to push high out of 2. A lot of people underneath him. Ostrander has Landry behind him through turn number 2 into the backstretch, the 86 car. Now on the move, Craig Embry right there behind Landry. Cameron Hearn looking to the inside of Embry as they come down the front stretch. He's going to have it moving into 3rd position. Cameron Hearn to the inside. Craig Embry falls to 4th. Embry now looks at for a retaliation, a little bit of contact with a little bit of bump before turn number 3, the 87 car. Little mind games there with Cameron Hearn. Landry still trying to run down Ostrander. And Ostrander getting a little tight there in the first couple turns, the 86 car. Looking a little close coming out of turn number 2. Just about a car length gap between the two of them, about a quarter of a second time-wise. Ostrander now into turn number 1 here into lap number 54. Check-up action as Landry's going to tag the bumper of Ostrander. Here comes Cameron Hearn, has to check up just a little bit. And Ostrander is going to go wide into turn number 4. That's going to bring the 86 of Dylan Landry right around. And now could have attempted a crossover move there, but remains high. Murphy Jr. now in the back, and a lot of contact between Embry and Murphy Jr. Murphy Jr. must have anticipated some issues going on there with Ostrander as he got onto the brakes coming out of turn number 2, and Craig Embry really on the bumper of it. Landry now back in 4th position, looking to make some moves as he tries to chase down the 48. In the meantime, Cameron Hearn out ahead of Chris Ostrander. Hearn now with 2 laps led. Ostrander, Murphy Jr. into turn 1 underneath. Murphy Jr. moves into 2nd position. Here comes Dylan Landry. Ostrander will not let the 86 car by. Embry back there behind Landry as they now work their way through the 4th turn into the front stretch. Ostrander looking to the inside of Landry. Or Embry, excuse me, looking to the inside of Landry. Of all the people here tonight, Craig Embry have gotten more mixed up with more drivers. Cameron Hearn now into turn number 1. 3/4 of a second lead over the 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr. Oh, and Landry's going to turn Embry. Embry's going to come down underneath. And that's going to be a tough break there. Let's take a look at a replay real quick here on this, folks. The battle between Dylan Landry and Craig Embry. Right here into the turn. Landry trying to get to the inside is going to tag Craig Embry, and unfortunately Embry is going to have to go down underneath to avoid bringing out another caution flag, but that is not going to do it as another caution flag comes out, and so does everybody down pit road. Seven cautions in the total 60 laps here, folks. As we see now, drivers coming off of pit road. Murphy Jr. beating Randy Arms. Jonathan Schwartz staying out here in the 58. Top 5 is going to get reshuffled. That's what it looks like in lap number 62. Swartz, Page, Cobb, Murphy Jr., and Arms are in your top 5. So the lights come off the pace car. Set to go green on lap number 65. It's going to be the 58 of Jonathan Schwartz setting that pace. He's going to have the 51 of Ryan Cobb to the outside. Coming up next week with the Anarchy Motorsports Series, the league moves into Chicagoland, pretty much following the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series schedule. Even though the chase begins, these guys are just in the first 5 races of the season. They carry this all the way through January. Pace car set to go into the pits this time. There it goes, and the 58 of Schwartz out of turn number 4, and the green flag's back in the air. Schwartz trying to anticipate where Cobb is wanting to pass. Out of turn number 4, the 51's going to be side by side as they cross the start-finish line. Cobb to the lead now. In turns 1 and 2, Ryan Cobb with the 48 of Murphy Jr. behind him, the 67 of Hearn looking to go down low. And the 58 of Schwartz up in the high line is feeling the effects of that middle groove. As now Randy Arms looks to the inside on turn number 1. And Schwartz continues to fall back on the older tires before settling up right in front of Dylan Landry in 5th position. Ryan Cobb now across the start-finish line into lap number 68. He's going to get at least 2 laps led here tonight so far as he leads the 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr. into the backstretch. And now Murphy Jr. trying to pass on the inside for Ryan Cobb. Was peeking just into turn number 1. Looking for a little bump action coming out of turn number 4. And Murphy Jr. now swings out for a potential turn 3 pass. He's going to have it as he works his way to the inside. Cameron Hearn's going to follow. Ryan Cobb now is going to get stuck to the middle groove. And 2 cars around the 51 just like that, but he's going to block Randy Arms and hold on to 3rd position. So Glenn Murphy Jr. back to the race lead. Total of 30 laps led here for the 48 car. As we saw last week at Darlington, it's not necessarily the guy who leads the most laps, as this car led 100 laps and ended up finishing 3rd. Guy behind him, 67 of Cameron Hearn, with a total of 5 laps led here tonight. Follows the 48 into turn number 3 here on lap 72. Cobb still trying to hold off Randy Arms as they work their way in the first couple turns. Arms off the pace just by about 2 car lengths. Now looks to the inside. Out of turn number 4, Randy Arms patient. He's going to try for a turn 1 pass. Down to the low side he goes. And Randy Arms is going to get 3rd position here on lap 74. Cobb's not going to go away quickly though. As they look to turn number 3, Cobb looks to the inside of Arms. In the front stretch towards turn number 1, Cobb's going to look to the inside yet again. How about the battle up front for the lead as Cameron Hearn trying to seek out the 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr. These 2 guys found each other more often than not last year. A lot of contact. We all remember that Atlanta race last year. Heavy contact between the 67 and the 48 at that Atlanta track. So Arms starts to pull away from the 51 of Brian Cobb. Here comes the 86 of Dylan Landry. A little bit newer tires on these cars, giving them the advantage here through the turns. As now you see the 86 Under Armour Chevrolet of Dylan Landry closing the gap on the 51 of Brian Cobb. Chris Ostrander back there behind has Philip Neese behind him as they come into the front stretch. And it looks like we're going to have another caution flag. Not quite sure where this one's going to come out of. Philip Neese is going to stay out. Pretty much your leaders are going to come down pit road here close to the halfway point of tonight's race. See everybody down on pit road working out their strategies. Down pit road, here comes Cameron Hearn. Ostrander making his way off of pit road. Nice little battle, and it looks like they are going to settle up just around the top 10. Cameron Hearn able to get into 7th coming off of pit road. Glenn Murphy Jr. will go into 4th. We take a look tonight here and towards the first 80 laps of this race. 8 lead changes, 8 total cautions. Started to have a nice green flag run here between the last set of cautions. As we take a look, last caution come out on lap 76. Before that was lap 58. Almost had a 20-lap run of green flag racing. So the 38 of Philip Neese is going to stay out. Adding a little age to those tires, as well as Tyler Popp. Popp's going to run the apron, trying to cool off the tires just a little bit. One of the things they implemented in the September update here in iRacing, folks, actually Popp's going to come down pit road. One of the things they updated was the new, what they called the Dynamic Tracks version 2. One thing that you're not able to see out there, if we were able to take a thermal camera out onto the track, you're going to see a lot of warmth out there on the track where all these cars are running. Putting more rubber down creates a very dynamic surface. These guys having to find the best line or hang on to the right line, as track conditions will change as the race progresses. So seeing Tyler Popp down on the apron actually is viable if you want to cool off your tires. Get out of the groove there just a little bit. Pace car into the back stretch, taking him towards turn number 3. It's going to be the 38 of Philip Neese taking us back green. He'll have the fast man here tonight, the 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr. to the outside. As the pace car into turn number 4 heads into the pits, there goes the 38 of Philip Neese into the front stretch, and the green flag flies. We are back to the race on lap number 83. Arms looking to challenge Philip Neese across the start-finish line, and oh, we got big time issue back here. Thomas Conheady, the 7 Hooters car. Ford Fusion there having a little bit of issues. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. Just to the inside of Chris Ostrander as they come down the backstretch, and a lot of swaying in the cars as they head into the third turn. Greg Elliott is going to get loose, and oh wow. There you have it, folks. Tough break there for that 7 car. He's going to come down pit road as well as Greg Elliott. Question is, will we see this guy right here, the 38 of Philip Neese, come down pit road? Stayed out during the last caution. A little bit older tires. John Alla is getting a wave around here as he was in the lucky dog position. Neese last week at Darlington took 2nd position. Tonight records crossing that start finish line will record 8 total laps led. Randy Arms back behind him, still looking for his first lap led, as well as a victory in the Cup Series. Lights should be off the pace car this time by as they cross the start finish line. Randy Arms will be to the outside of Philip Neese. Cameron Hearn and Glenn Murphy Jr. find themselves side by side yet again here tonight as they will be starting in that 2nd row. Hearn will be to the inside of Murphy Jr. Pace car taking them into the backstretch. It's going to be lap number 89 when the green flag flies. As the pace car now into turn number 4, dives into the pits. Here we go. The 38 of Philip Neese out of turn number 4. The green flag's in the air, and he's got a nice little jump. Here comes Cameron Hearn to the inside. The battle for 2nd position is on. Out of turn number 2, Hearn to the inside of Arms. Down the back stretch, Cameron Hearn winning the battle on the lower groove. Randy Arms up to the middle groove, is going to lose out, falls back to 3rd. Into the front stretch they go now. Dylan Landry looking to move up into 4th position. As he's to the inside, Glenn Murphy Jr. on the high side has yet to come down into the lower groove. Side by side with Landry. Here they are in the back stretch. Arms looking to get around. Philip Neese is going to swing wide on the older tires, not going to hold up traffic. And another caution flag coming out. And it looks like Shaquille Ray having some issues on his car. Going to dial back the replay here on the 85 Ford Fusion. So this was coming into the caution. Let's see if we can jump back just a little bit. Stuart Joyce behind Shaquille Ray. Conheady to the high side. Right there. Conheady's going to go off the wall, and he's going to... Oh, wow! Thomas Conheady, John Olles are going to find themselves side by side. See if we can capture that one more time. A nasty hit for Thomas Conheady into the inside wall. Right about there, he is going to swing wide. Stuart Joyce able to save it, but take a look at this hit. Ouch. That is a heavy angled hit right there on the inside wall with no safer barrier here at Richmond. And that is a lot of damage. And the Reese Cup 14 of John Olles goes sideways to meet the Hooter car of Thomas Conheady. Down on pit road. So, double-digit cautions before triple-digit laps here tonight. 93 laps in the books, 9 total lead changes. Here's a look at your top 5 as Cameron Hearn has the lead. Randy Arms second, Philip Neese third. Dylan Landry fourth, Glenn Murphy Jr. rounding out your top 5. Lights off the pace car. Watch for a great restart here from the 67 of Cameron Hearn, as Randy Arms has been putting pressure on him since they've been 1 and 2. Pace car now heading into turn number 4, set to go into the pits. And it dives down. Cameron Hearn ready, and there he goes, ladies and gentlemen, into the front stretch, pulling away the 67 of Cameron Hearn. Philip Neese to the inside of Randy Arms into the first couple turns. Glenn Murphy Jr. to the inside of Dylan Landry. Down the backstretch now towards turn number 3. Aggressive moves picked up as Randy Arms now to the inside of Philip Neese. Into the front stretch they go. Randy Arms still working that lower group to the inside of the 38 car. Can he get around him? That's going to be the question. Yes, he will. So Randy Arms now moves into second position down the backstretch into turn number 3, but Philip Neese is rallying back in the middle groove. Glenn Murphy Jr., the 48 car. Oh, Neese is going to nearly tag the wall. Murphy Jr. looks to the low side in turns 1 and 2. He'll settle up in third position. Neese has fallen back now to 5th position. Landry just ahead as Neese swings wide. Here comes Ryan Cobb, the 51 car, to the inside. Craig Embry behind him. Into lap number 99 we go. Cobb just ahead of Nice. Here comes Embry to the inside. Down the backstretch, it's a drag race as the 87 has the fresher tires and will take over the position into turn number 3. So Craig Embry moves to 6, Nice falls to 7. Cameron Hearn out to a nice sizable lead. Almost a 1 second lead here over the 8 of Randy Arms. Arms out of turn number 2 into the backstretch. Murphy Jr. trying to seek out that 8 car just ahead as they work through turn number 4. Murphy Jr. still working the lower groove. Landry just ahead of Ryan Cobb. Here comes Murphy Jr. to the inside. Randy Arms out of turn number 4 has got to hold off this 48 car because this Lowe's machine is on the move. Lowe's in the gap now under 1 car length, and a caution flag is going to fly. And it looks like the 19 of Justin Page is going to have some issues. Let's go back and take a look. Oh, and it's Embry. So Craig Embry is going to be the benefactor of a lot of damage here, getting into contact with the 58 of Jonathan Schwartz. Let's go back, dial it back just a little bit, see if we can capture the prelude to this turn 2 incident. Ostrander to the outside of Schwartz as they go into the backstretch. Embry's going to be to the inside. He's going to look to the inside of Schwartz. In the front stretch, the 87 car tries the inside move right here. And right there it is. Hooks the bumper of Schwartz, and Embry is going to get a lot of front end damage right in front. He's going to come right down into Justin Page, sending him into the inside wall. Page, unfortunately, is going to get thrown back up into Elliott. Sandelin will have to lock up the brakes as well as that 92 car. So 105 laps now working towards its completion at Richmond. Total of 11 cautions as 10 lead changes unfold here. A lot more race action to come your way, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
So I'm Dan Garrison, engineer at iRacing. I've been working on dynamic track and wanted to take the lab coat off to kind of give an update on what I've been doing to enhance things on the asphalt side, what we're kind of calling the dynamic track version 2. When we started looking at dirt and the interaction between the tire and the track, kind of pointed us to some things we could improve on the asphalt side as well. We were able to kind of rework the calculations that account for heat transferring generally in the direction from the tire to the track. The track will cool a little bit faster when cars are not on it, but more significantly, cars running on the track are going to impart more energy into it, bringing the temperature up and changing the racing experience so that you do have to be wary of the track getting hot and reducing your grip. I've been rethinking some of the calculations that determine kind of how the rubber is torn, whether it's how much is torn from the tire, how much is torn from a rubbered-in track. I've made some changes so that rolling tire will pick up more rubber. We also looked at the thickness of the rubber under the contact patch and realized we can make improvements to the model there. As a result, we're able to make the tire respond a little bit more to how much rubber is there. We're able to influence how fast the track rubbers in areas where the tires are working hard. So I'm excited about these changes that we're making. The temperature in the track is going to be a lot more dynamic. It's going to mean you're going to have to dive around looking for the cool parts of the track. I think it's going to make the different lines come in and change the racing experience, and I'm really kind of excited to see how this is going to change things following the September build when it comes out.
Welcome back to Richmond. Coming back from commercial break, and the 46 of Danny Bowman Jr. Heavy damage yet again tonight on that car. Run back to replay here, and we'll capture the action. Ostrander, and he's going to go up into Michael Tan and Greg Elliott. See if we can get an interview with this guy right here just up front, Cameron Hearn. This is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Well, what a caution flake night here at Richmond. But you find yourself up front, total of 26 laps led here tonight. Tell us a little bit about your night.
Yeah, it's kind of, pit strategy is kind of what I'm thinking about now because there's been so many cautions. I think I might actually be done with tires. Tire fall off really isn't too much here, but I guess we run about 15 laps, I might pit again, but if not, these short cautions, I'm going to stay out. But overall, it's been a fun race. A lot of people driving good, and then I know in the back they're having some issues, but up front it's been good racing.
Tell us a little bit about your battle with Glenn Murphy Jr. What do you think? What are your forecasts in here as we get closer to the end of this race?
Yeah, me and Glenn are teammates, so I feel like it's going to be tough. You know, he's going to race me tough and clean, and I'll race him the same. I feel like he's a little bit faster on the fresh tires. I'm a little bit faster in the long run. So if it stays green, I feel like it's going to be interesting shootout here.
All right. Well, is there any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give while we got you on the line?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Peachtree Pools and Spa in North Augusta, South Carolina. My mom and dad, my wife Ashley, and hopefully we can bring this Chevy home.
All right. Well, best of luck to you in the laps to come. Cameron, thank you much for your time.
2-4.
There you have it, folks. A little bit of information there from the driver. Currently leading Lights should be off the pace car this time by. We'll be back green on lap 116. Byrne will be setting the pace as Murphy Jr. will be to the outside, Landry to the inside of Cobb. Gildine and Springer back there in that third row. Pace car working its way towards turn number 4. It's going to dive down to the pits. Cameron Hurt with the pace. He's going to edge out his teammate. Down comes Murphy Jr. to block off Landry. Cobb to the high side. Here we are in turn number 1, lap 116. And a big pile up back there. A lot of damage on the Fago car. As you see Kevin Trzynski frustrated working his way towards the pits. Let's go back and take a look. So this is the restart. Looks like it's going to come from ahead. A little bit of connection issues from the 23 car. Right there with Randy Arms. He's going to get turned in a big bunch up. Arms behind Ostrander, the outside of McMahon as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. And just we're going to call this one a net code bump, folks. Right there in the turn as the 92 of White Smith is going to get that 8 car spun around. A little arc of brake action there from the 22 of Joyce into Arms. So with every caution flag coming out at this point, it's just an easier trip for the 67 car to get closer to victory lane. 13 total cautions in the 118 laps put down here. 11 lead changes. Take a look at your top 5. Cameron Hurt, Glenn Murphy Jr., Ryan Cobb, Dylan Landry, Clay Dildon. Here in the lap 120. And the lights will come off the pace car. Teammates up front. Cameron Hurt to the inside of his teammate Glenn Murphy Jr. his car heading towards turn number 4. Into the pits. Hearn sets the pace out of turn number 4, and the green flag's back in the air. Down comes Murphy Jr. trying to hold off Cobb. Cobb to the inside of Murphy Jr. He's going to get the line, and he's going to get underneath them. A little side-by-side action. Out of turn number 2, Ryan Cobb trying to edge out that 48, but it's not going to be enough. As Glenn Murphy Jr. edges out Cobb, coming out of turn number 4, Landry just ahead of Dildine. Into the backstretch they go. Laps getting closer and closer towards that checkered flag. Springer now trying to run down Clay Dildine. Phillip needs swinging way wide. In turns 1 and 2 will settle up right beside Craig Embry. Embry, a lot of damage on that Camry, has the aid of Randy Arms behind him. He's still up to the high side. Here comes Embry into the front stretch. Arms to the inside of Nice. To the inside of Embry, so Randy Arms now back up into the 7th position slot. Embry on the bumper of Arms coming out of turn number 4 into the front stretch. Back up front, Cameron Hearn into the backstretch. 0.6 of a second lead over the 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr. Into lap 127, Cobb 1 second off the pace, has a car between him and the leader. Landry back in 4th position, still trying to reach the 51's bumper. As they head into turn 3, last week's winner at the throwback race at Darlington. Trying to get another victory, current series points leader Dylan Landry into turn number 1 here on lap 128. But the man on the move, take a look at this. The Wheelers number 8 of Randy Arms at Chevrolet is on the move as he closes in on Mike Springer just ahead of Clay Dildine. Out of turn number 4, here comes Randy Arms into 6th position. Slowly but surely digging through that field is now the 32 of Springer just ahead. Interesting point of note here about the 32 of Mike Springer. Last year, if you noticed, you didn't watch the Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series last season, Mike Springer sponsored car Dr. Pepper, so now we see Randy Arms to the inside. Arms going for the top 5 slot. To the inside, he's going to have it. Gets to the inside of Mike Springer. Mike Springer last year, sponsored by Dr. Pepper, was caught drinking RC Cola in a 7-Eleven parking lot, and unfortunately lost the sponsor out of that. But you see the different sponsor on the car here tonight. A tough break for him, but it does not look like he's fallen too far off the pace. Now Craig Embry to the inside. The battle is on for 7th position as Embry will get around Springer. He's trying to get inside as well. Randy Arms hard charging through the field. Has last week's winner at Darlington just ahead as he crosses over into lap 133. Ryan Cobb across the start-finish line. Falling 0.3 further back from Cameron Hearn as a 67 car into the backstretch. And start to see lap traffic ahead. As Cameron Hearn crosses that start-finish line, his lap-led count is going to match his teammates behind him. A total of 48. as Glenn Murphy Jr. back behind him. Stuart Joyce, lap car ahead in that bounty picker-upper. Chica car, number 22. Arms still trying to work on Landry. Into the backstretch of lap 136, nearly making some contact with the wall. Arms is really trying to drive the wheels off of that Chevrolet. Into the front stretch. Yet again has closed the gap this time around as he crosses over into lap 138. Hearn now past Joyce in lap traffic. Cobb just getting around him as well. Landry can see Joyce just ahead as they work their way into the front stretch. This could be a blessing in disguise for the number 8 car as lap traffic tends to slow up. Guys ahead of you. Joyce going to the high side, allowing the lead lap cars by to the inside. Take a look back in 9th position. Chris Ostrander here tonight with a total of 24 laps led. Still trying to hold on just behind Philip Neese. Neese actually trying to run down Clay Dildine here. In the back stretch, Dildine to the inside pass of Stuart Joyce. Springer and Page looking for a little battle. It's now the 32 of Mike Springer. Low side out of turn number 4 towards lap 143. Cameron Hearn in cruise control mode, talking with him earlier in a yellow flag interview. Hearn said the tire fall off not looking to be a problem here tonight as he continues to run the lower group hugging that yellow line. He turns 1 and 2. See the major gap between teammate Glenn Murphy Jr. and the 51 of Brian Cobb. Cobb now back 3.3 seconds behind this guy right here. "94 laps led between the both of them, Cameron Hearn and Glenn Murphy Jr. And now Landry has closed the gap on Cobb. Into lap 145.86, starts to seek out a passing opportunity, but here comes Randy Arms. Cobb starting to feel the pressure of Landry into turn number 3. You have the series points leader right behind you. And a little apron contact, that's going to slow up the 51 car, and here comes Dylan Landry. Up to the bumper of Cobb now, he's going to look to the inside. Will they make a move into turn 1? Down he goes. And Dylan Landry side by side with Cobb now moves into 3rd position. Cobb again, contact with the apron in turn 2. Cobb's rallying back for turn 3 pass. A little switch over move into turn 3 as Landry's to the high side of Cobb. Side by side action out of turn number 4. Cobb back to 3rd. And now Arms looking to shut the door on Landry. Into the back stretch. Oh, and Cobb is going to get turned into the wall. Good hard racing here between Dylan Landry and Ryan Cobb. See right there, climbing the contour of the track in the backstretch. Cobb gets ever so close to the 86 of Dylan Landry. Randy Arms right there in the midst of all of it. And just slowly but surely, Cobb pinches the 86 and causes himself to spin. Not really giving any room to Landry. So late race caution here with about 10 laps to go. Cars will be bunched up. Landry in the top 4, last week's winner, really have what it takes to get by Cameron Hearn. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's going to be heating up. We'll be right back.
How much longer do you want to wait for Dave to talk about this dart release?
Why? What's he doing?
I'm pretty sure he's playing Pokemon again.
Again?
Yes, again.
Welcome back to Richmond. 7 laps to go as the lights come off the pace car. It'll be 6 when the green flag comes out. Here's a look at your top 5. Heading into the green flag, it's going to be Cameron Hearn, Glenn Murphy Jr., Randy Arms, Dylan Landry, Craig Embry. Last caution flag coming out, resulting in contact between Ryan Cobb pinching teammate Dylan Landry in the wall. Cobb has since fallen back to 8th position. Landry looking for a top 3 finish here in Richmond. Pace car set to go into the pits. There it goes. Cameron Hearn takes off out of turn number 4. Arms is ready as well. Side by side with Murphy Jr. into turn number 1. 6 laps now remain here in Richmond. And a big spin out. That's going to bring out another caution flag. Story of the night here in Richmond. Total of 15 caution flags thrown, 11 lead changes. The interesting interesting factor to this equation, folks, is that when this gets closer and closer and this one goes back to green, we're going to have about 1, maybe 2 laps of racing action. And take a look at that. Not sure, but Randy Arms may be to the outside of Glenn Murphy Jr. Again, talking about next week as the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series moves out of Richmond, heads into Chicago for race number 6. Tomorrow night, be back in action with the CRA Championship Racing Association and the Modified Madness Tour. That season is pretty much winding down. Christian Peterson in the Tour Modifieds, still the dominant car. Benny Ellison in the lights, car to beat. And pretty much announced today, Sim Auto Racing Association, also known as SARA, one of the premier short track leagues out here on iRacing, will be joining teams here with the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network to bring you a great Thursday night series worth of late models. We had a chance to broadcast a championship race with them a couple weeks ago. And unfortunately, the way it looks now, this thing is going to end under yellow. Should remain on the pace car, even though it theoretically should be coming on. They should remain on through the white flag lap here, folks. Thought we were going to at least get a 1-lap shootout. White flag now in the air. So that is going to be your results here tonight. Cameron Hearn taking victory, gets his first victory of the season here for the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series. Dylan Landry getting top 5. Randy Arms finishing 2nd. Glenn Murphy Jr. 3rd. Craig Embry with the 4th place finish. And as the pace car brings them towards the start-finish line out of turn number 4, Cameron Hearn with a hard-fought battle here tonight. 73 laps led, will take victory. Celebratory fireworks from the backstretch in the air. Very happy 67 car. Plagued early on by a leg injury, rallying back this year. Little show for the crowd. We're going to throw up the results on your screen, but before we do that, actually, let's take a look at the total race summary statistics here. 160 laps completed tonight. 11 lead changes, 16 total cautions. Pretty much one for every 10 laps. Results on your screen. We're going to go live now to third place finisher Glenn Murphy Jr. here tonight. Seeing teammate Cameron Hearn picking up the victory. You guys battled hard. No, you did a lot of blocking there trying to keep the guys from challenging your teammate up front. Randy Arms is able to get by-in, finish second here tonight after that late incident off of turn number 2. Had a total of 37 laps led. Second week in a row, you find yourself in third position. Tell us a little bit about your night.
No, it was pretty good. Don't have much to complain about. I felt like we were really quick when we had clean air up front, and I feel like that might have been a little bit of the difference. Cameron definitely made some adjustments throughout the race. He was fast going into it, but the long run where we raced it out there, he was just a little bit better than I was, and learn from it and move on.
Heading next weekend to Chicagoland, what can we expect out of that 48 car?
We'll be fast. You'll see the usual suspects that can get around the cookie cutters to be up there. Nice having Dalton back, but I expect it to be kind of the same as usual. Get up there, lead some laps, and hopefully finally get a win this season. We've had some fast race cars and just haven't gotten it done, but we're really close, and it's coming.
All right. Well, any final thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your third place finish here at Richmond?
Yeah, just shout out to the boys bringing fast race cars, and we'll get one of these weeks. Congrats to Cameron as well. It's good to have a team bring home first win of the year.
All right, Glenn, we'll look forward to seeing you next week at Chicagoland.
Thanks, Dustin.
There you have it, folks. The 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr. 2 weeks in a row finds himself finishing third. Have to see what next week will bring when they roll into Chicagoland. We're going to go live now to the driver of the Oilers number 8 car, Chevrolet. Powered by Chevrolet, I should say. Randy Arms really dug through that field, hard charging. You know, back from about 8th, 9th position, you really started to work your way through the field, and you definitely got to be satisfied with the runner-up finish here at Richmond.
Yeah, that was definitely a hard-fought, race. We run up front, and I made the mistake, got caught speeding, and that got me back in the field, and we got caught up in a little mess off of turn 2 there, and then we finally had a long run, and I was able to get myself back up trying to pass for third, and that's when Cobb and Alandra got together and was able to just get past Glenn there on that last restart. So yeah, well, I'll take a second after all that.
Well, tied for 4th in the series points coming into tonight with Glenn Murphy Jr. finishing ahead of him here in 2nd. Definitely going to help your cause moving into next week into race number 6 at Chicagoland. What can we expect out of that 8 car going there?
We're usually fairly good there. Mile and a half's not the greatest there, but I'm sure we can squeak out a top 5 if we can just keep the nose clean.
All right. Well, is there any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your runner-up finish tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank all the guys back at the shop. I want to thank Olin Shocks, the Sundrop, Wrangler, and the Chevrolet, and you for putting on this broadcast.
All right, Randy. Well, congratulations on your 2nd place finish. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
I had a chance to talk with him earlier under the yellow, and now we get a chance to talk with him in victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me now, the 67 of Cameron Hearn, able to take his Chevrolet all the way to victory lane tonight with a total of 74 laps led. You got to be happy seeing your teammate finish back there in 3rd. I know he was pretty happy to see you guys bringing home the victory, the first victory of the year, definitely from a teammate. And here at a caution-filled night here at Richmond, tell us a little bit about your thoughts on the race as it progressed. Did it seem like it was getting easier? We talked a little bit, actually talking about no tire fall off really. The caution seemed to aid in that as well, pacing around that track.
Yeah, I remember you interviewed me under caution. I told you if it got a long green run, got close to the finish, I probably wouldn't pit. And I'm actually glad a lot of people stayed out with me. I knew on the restart I could get a good jump and would have a good chance of holding them off. And I kind of was counting on a caution coming out again since we've had so many throughout the whole race. But honestly, I think we started back in the around 20-something position. So to get a win at this track and avoid everything, not make contact with anyone on the wall, is a good result. Randy's an affiliate team member of us, so seeing him come in second and Glenn coming third is always nice, and Clay, team owner, coming in with the top 10. So 3 guys in the whole team, top 10 finish. I don't think you can ask anything better than that.
Well, talking a little bit about the leg injury he sustained last season during the Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series, coming into the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series this season, what does it mean to pick up the victory here in race number 5?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's kind of like getting back to being normal. I'm still dealing with it anytime you break a leg. It's not an easy recovery or anything, but it's definitely bringing it home first. Definitely makes it feel better after the race, sitting here for a couple hours. So things are going good, and it's a good sign of progress as well. I actually can feel my right leg a lot better than in the past, so each week's an improvement. So
it's definitely glad to hear. And is there any thanks, shout-outs you want to give for your victory tonight at Richmond?
Yeah, like always, Peachtree Pools and Spa, they're on us the whole season. I'm glad to actually get a win for them. I feel like we've been fast, just hadn't had to show it, and, end result. We've been getting caught up in some incidents that maybe wasn't our fault or just wrong place, wrong time, but that's racing. So, yeah, Peachtree Pools and Spa, my mom and dad, my wife, and you doing the broadcast, it's awesome to let people actually watch it live, so that's a great thing to do.
All right, Cameron, congratulations on your victory here tonight. We'll look forward to seeing you carrying that momentum into next week when we go to Chicagoland.
Yes, sir. Hope to talk to you next week.
There you have it, folks. Cameron Hearn picking up victory number 1 here in the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series, part of that 8-lifting motorsports team. Results on the screen here tonight. Right behind Hearn, you'll find the number 8 of Randy Arms, Glenn Murphy Jr., Craig Embry, Dylan Landry rounding out your top 5. Ryan Cobb, Mike Springer, David McMahon, Clay Dildine, and Chris Ostrander rounding out the top 10. Sandelin, Miller, Neese, Smith, Page, Joyce, Trzynski, Elliott, Tant, Bowman Jr. through 20. Olive, Schwartz, Ray, Conheady, Pop, Ashby, and John Joyce. Finishing 27th, Joshua Clark here tonight with a little photo op in the pits. Coming up next week, the Anarchy Motorsports Series leaves Richmond, heads into Chicagoland. The 125-lap race there at that track. Tomorrow night, Digital Forge Broadcasting Network will be back in action with the CRA Modified Madness Tour. Definitely want to tune in to capture that. If you haven't done so already, folks, make sure you hit that subscribe button out there in YouTube. Give us a like, both here on YouTube and on Facebook. Just find us on there, searching Digital Forge Broadcasting Network, and on the web at forgebroadcasting.com. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you